As you may all be well aware, the fine folks over at Line 6 just dropped their PodGo Firmware 2.0 update, and I must say, this is a huge upgrade for PodGo users, and I think it's going to make a lot of people happy. In this quick video today, I want to take you through my top 5 favorite new features, and some of them are real game changers for PodGo users. They're going to allow you to dial in some really great tones and offer a lot more flexibility. Coming in at number 5 is a new Line 6 original amp called the Line 6 Elmsley amp. I've done videos on these amps when they were added to the Line 6 Helix HX Stomp firmware in recent months. So I do have dialing in videos for these, which are basically going to apply to PodGo as well. I'll have some links below to my Helix videos instead of just shooting new videos that basically I've already spoken about. But this amp is a really killer amp model. It's another Line 6 original. I've got to say, Line 6 original amps a lot of times can be very underrated, but absolutely incredible amp models that I wouldn't miss out on using. So either as of the release of this video or extremely soon in the next day or so on the Line 6 Marketplace, I will have my Line 6 Elmsley PodGo preset available if you like what you hear from this amp model. Coming in at number 4 is another new amp model, or actually a set of amp models, and these are going to be the Moon Bright, Moon Norm, and Moon Jump amp models. And these amp models are based off the Sun Amps Model T amplifier. I gotta say, these are really killer sounding amps as well. Again, there will be a link below to dialing in videos from when these were released for the Line 6 Helix, but definitely go give those a look. Really killer sounding amps. Coming in at number 3 is the Dynamic Ambience Reverb. Now, the Dynamic Ambience Reverb is a very cool reverb. It's nothing overt. It's designed to give us a very subtle reverb, much like what we would get when we just plug an amp in a real room or a studio room. Just something to give it a little bit more life rather than a big cavernous or overt reverb. So you can see it here. Again, I do have a full dialing in video for this for the Helix. You can go watch that. I'll link to that below. We have our room size, 8 meters, 10 meters, 12 meters, pre-delay, damping, diffusion, shape. The shape control is extremely cool. If I was to turn this off, you'll hear very dry. Very, very subtle stuff. Some of my favorite settings on this is to go all the way to late 100 on the shape. So a really cool addition and gives us the ability to get a really natural sounding reverb on our presets. Coming in at number 2 is the new Grammatica GSG100 amplifier. This was a huge hit when it was added to the Helix. This is a model of the Grammatica GSG100 amp that's actually named after the real amp. And this is a fairly faithful recreation of a Dumble style guitar amp. And I must say, it is a killer sounding amp. As of today or very soon on the Line 6 Marketplace, and I will link below to it, I will have my Grammatica GSG 1 and 2 presets. There's both a jazz and a rock setting on this amp that give a different sound to the amp, so I have separate presets utilizing both just because it's such a deep amp and capable of some really killer tones. And finally, coming in at number 1 is the new cab section of the PodGo. This is something that was a very big request for Helix folks for a long time, and recently that was added to the Helix. There was a lot of speculation around whether the PodGo users would get it. I'm happy to announce we have it, and that this is probably the number 1 most powerful tool we're going to have now for shaping tones within our PodGo. So what does it look like? Well, if we come over here to our cabs, you will notice that we still have the ability to load an IR. We have the legacy cab here. So if you do have a preset using an older cab, nothing is going to change. It's not going to automatically swap that out. So we can go to our old legacy cabs. And if we do, you can see here that we have our old interface here, the way we choose a mic and distance and whatnot. But if we go to our new cab section and choose one of these, now we can see we have movable mics. We could actually grab the little graphic, move it around. We could also control which microphone we use. We can control with the sliders the position, the distance, and we see the little graphic moves along with it. We can even angle it either 45 degrees or just have it straight on at 0 degrees, low cut, high cut. Very, very powerful tool and very useful. I think a lot of PodGo users are going to be very excited to have this great new feature added to the PodGo. You can look out in the coming days for a full featured video going more in depth with these new speaker cabs we have in the PodGo. All right, so there you have it. There's my top 5 new features. I like to do these videos just to make folks aware that maybe aren't aware that number 1, the firmware is actually out, and number 2, what's actually in there. You know, there's always great release notes written by the folks at Line 6 that a lot of folks maybe don't know are out there and they don't read. So a video like this sometimes helps to at least draw attention so the folks can maybe not miss out on a really cool feature that was added. I've had a lot of people contact me, you know, many months sometimes after a firmware release comes out and say, I didn't even realize that feature was in there. And, oh yeah, that was added just a couple months ago. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the new update. Today, I'm going to leave you with the full demo video for my Grammatica GSG2 PodGo preset, which is either available at this moment or will be available very soon at the Line 6 Marketplace. If you want to help support my channel, I always appreciate you grabbing a preset, and I really hope you enjoy. So thanks so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Ciao for now.